Hey everyone, it's Fun Around. My name is Jordan. This video will be for WNBA's 5-game slate. That is a huge slate for the WNBA for Friday. Unfortunately, I filmed these the night before and the lines are not out yet. So this is what I call a pinned comment video. I'm going to go through each game. I'm going to give you some data on each game to help you with your picks. But for me personally, for my picks, I'm going to put them in the pinned comment. Probably in the morning once everything is out. Sometimes in the morning they still don't have lines out, depending on an injury or something like that. So throughout the day, I will try to find plays and add them to the pinned comment. But here, this video will be informational to try to help you if you're looking at it during the day and those lines are already out. So the data you will see on the screen will be from a data app called Outlier. There'll be a link in the description that'll give you a 7-day free trial for Outlier. And this first game is the Liberty versus the Mystics. The Liberty are actually going to be on a back-to-back, and they're going to be on the road. Mystics are plus 8.5. Notice in the WNBA last year that back-to-backs hit a lot harder than they do in the NBA. Because the NBA, they're just kind of used to it. WNBA is every once in a while, and sometimes numbers just kind of tank from what players did the previous day. So the Liberty kind of had a hard-fought game there against the Valkyries. They did have some good performances from Sabrina and Brianna Stewart. Jonquel Jones sat out that game. I believe it was because of this back-to-back. So she will be fresh. So she'll be someone to take a look at. But the Mystics haven't been too bad this year. So on the road for the Liberty on a back-to-back, Mystics are someone to keep an eye out for if you want to go for like plus 8.5 points. I don't think that's a bad bet. So I'm going to talk about pace because I believe pace is a good indicator of potential assists, potential rebounds, potential shot opportunities. All that stuff is due to pace. So if we can find two teams with good pace, like we did with the Dallas-Chicago game, and that ended up being a very high-scoring game, we have good opportunities to hit a lot of overs in those games. So Liberty, the third fastest pace in the WNBA, of course, are on a back-to-back, so that could factor in. The Mystics, the sixth fastest pace. So we do have a fast-paced matchup here, but I found this interesting. Points given up for each team. Liberty, the second fewest points given up this year, and the Mystics, the fifth fewest points. So two good defensive teams, but they play fast, quick, up and down. And then just another stat category to keep an eye out for is going to be the Liberty. They give up the most rebounds to teams. And I've noticed in the WNBA, really good teams usually give up a lot of rebounds. My theory was that it's because they allow a lot of offensive rebounds. They force missed shots, and other teams get those bad missed shots and get offensive rebounds. And the Liberty do give up the most offensive rebounds as well. So that's part of it. They're forcing those misses. So you could look at someone like Kiki Irvin or Shakira Austin in this matchup for rebounds, but we'll see if Jonquel Jones is seriously hurt and she doesn't play, because if she comes back, it's going to be a little bit tougher for someone like Kiki. But if she remains out, then I definitely would like Kiki Irvin in this matchup. So just a few names to throw out there. This next game is the Sun at the Fever. Marina Mabrey is questionable, and of course Caitlin Clark will be out for this one. The pace, the Fever play at the fastest pace. Part of that has to do with Caitlin Clark being on the court and just pushing the ball up the court, as much as she can. So that probably is going to slow down a little bit. And then the Sun play at the fourth slowest pace. The Sun have not been that good this year. They just haven't been able to figure things out. They lost a lot of talent, and they're just not that good. But they're playing a Caitlin Clark-less team. So if Marina Mabrey is out, then yeah, this could be a really tough one. You can look at points. The Sun give up the third most points in the league. So a person I'm going to keep an eye out for is going to be Kelsey Mitchell. Of course, she is, even with Caitlin Clark, if she was there, I would look for Kelsey Mitchell in this matchup. Her last game with Caitlin Clark out, she shot 4 for 16. Not good, but she played against that Mystics team that we just talked about. She scored 14 points, and that Mystics team that plays at a fast pace but allows few points, she had a really tough matchup there. So 4 for 16, I can see her shooting. If she gets that volume 16 shots and we get her points line up around the high teens, then I definitely like it for her to shoot better than 4 for 16 in a matchup against a Sun team that gives up a lot of points. And then for rebounds here, the Fever give up the second most rebounds, and the Sun give up the third most rebounds. So just a lot of rebounds to go around. So you can look at rebounds props for the Sun and the Fever. And I normally, for the WNBA, I started to learn their positioning. They don't have point guard, shooting guard, small forward, and all that. It's literally guard, forward, and sometimes a team will have a center. So it's really difficult to find like position matchups like you can in the NBA. So I normally just take a look at the entire picture. Sometimes I'll filter over to guards or forwards. I'll rarely ever go to centers to see that data. But for right now, I'm just going to stick to how teams are doing against an entire team and not certain positions. We'll narrow in on that later in the season. But if you guys could, please like the video. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. If you have a little bit of extra time, could you leave a comment for the algorithm? You just say anything that helps get this video out there for more people to see. And also, if you use Prizepicks and you want to get away from it, try something else out with more options, dynamic payouts. Try out Underdog Fantasy, Sleeper, ParlayPlay, ChalkBoard, or better. Underdog's matching your first deposit up to $1,000. The rest are doing it up to $100. Promo code is fine around 11 to get those matches. Links are in the description. That'll take you straight there. So this next game is the Dream at the Storm. So Brittany Griner is likely to play in this one. Last time around, I took Ryan Howard's rebounds because Brittany Griner wasn't playing, and she had got like I believe it was 9 rebounds in 2 consecutive games with Brittany Griner out. So she is likely to be back. The Dream play at the 5th slowest pace, and the Storm play at the slowest pace. So let's take a look at points given up. Storm the 3rd least points given up, and then the Dream the 6th least, which is kind of in the middle of the league ish. And then rebounds, the Dream give up the 3rd least, and the Storm give up the 6th least. So this is a tough defensive matchup, slow pace. If we see some high lines, because I know Alicia Gray is probably going to have a high line for points. Ryan Howard's going to have a high line. Sometimes Skylar Diggins will have a high points line. We'll just have to see. But this could be a good one for some unders. But the books are going to see that data as well, and it might drop the lines, make it a little bit more difficult. And then we'll just have to decide from there based off history of that player. This 4th game is the Lynx at the Mercury, 2 of the better teams in the league going at each other. I was surprised to see Nafisa Collier is questionable, and then Clea Copper remains out for the Mercury. They could desperately use her, even though they've been playing well. The Lynx is 2nd slowest pace, and the Mercury the 7th fastest pace, which is middle of the league. So kind of a slow pace game here. And then the Lynx are giving up the 4th least points, in the Mercury the fewest points allowed. So another one where it's going to be tough to score points in a slower pace matchup. And then the Lynx, the fewest rebounds allowed. So that's taking a look at someone like Alyssa Thomas, Satu Sabali, and their rebounds. And then the Mercury give up the 5th most rebounds. So that could be Nafisa Collier or Elena Smith is a good rebounder. Bridget Carlton sometimes is a good rebounder. They did get Kayla McBride back, so we'll have to keep an eye out on her. And where her lines come out at. I know she was had some like conditioning minutes restriction last time around. We'll see if they announce anything about that. But this is yet another tough matchup for scoring and a lot of rebounds to go around. Now, I'm not mentioning assists given up because it kind of goes hand in hand with scoring. This last game will be Kelsey Plum's return to Las Vegas. The Sparks at the Aces. Ray Burrell is still out, and then Rakia Jackson will be out for personal reasons. So the pace, the Sparks play at the 3rd slowest. I was surprised about that. They played at one of the fastest last year. And then the Aces, the 6th slowest. This is one where the slow pace hasn't translated to the opponent scoring less. So the Sparks give up the 4th most points, and the Aces the 5th most points. So this could be one where we have a barn burner with Kelsey Plum, trying to score a bunch against her old team. I know, Jackie Young is going to want to try to lock her up, but this could be a fun one for scoring, and then rebounding. The aces give up the fourth most rebounds. So that's Azare Stevens and De'Erica Hamby with Rikia Jackson out. Rebounds can be a good look for those two. So we have a few matchups that look like they could be exciting. We have a few that, kind of caution. But still, when you're looking at the lines, you can take that into consideration, and don't be afraid to take an under. I'm starting to tell myself that more and more. Don't be afraid to take an under if the data looks good. Just go for it. And it's starting to work out a lot more lately than it has in the past. In the past, I've kind of like pick and choose whenever I go with an under, and then the player just blows up. So the WNBA, I feel like there's a chance where we get like a 22-point half like we saw the other day. It happens. Sometimes you get a 50-point half. Sometimes you get 22-point half. With these 10-minute quarters, things can just go by so quickly. Like you check the clock in the first quarter, and it's already the 4-minute mark, and like your player hasn't even taken a shot yet or something like that, and you're like, oh, what's going on? Are they going to chalk? It just happens so much more quickly. If you'd like to discuss lines further, I have a Discord. Link is in the description. You can talk in there. For more plays, there are some really smart people in there who have been doing WNBA for a while that I trust. I trust their picks. I think they're great. So you can definitely check them out in there. That Discord is free. And then as far as a recap goes, I did have Jonquel Jones for rebounds. Later in the day, she was announced she was questionable, and then she ended up sitting. I did have Angel Reese for over rebounds. She actually got benched for a while, and Chicago actually won the game. So she did not get her rebounds, but I did get the Paige Becker's assist. And at the end of that video, I said I really want to take Arike Agumbawale's points. This is like the breakout spot for her. She just had been so inconsistent. I said I want to take it. But I put a parlay up there for 15 points, and then Paige Becker's 6 assists. She ended up dropping 30 points. So those plays all did well. Hopefully we can find some good ones here. And I think some of the players have been just so inconsistent that the books they try to find like the average. But hopefully we can, find, based off the matchups and everything, some good plays for the day. So check the pinned comment in the morning, and hopefully I can find some good stuff for you. So God bless you all. It's a final round. My name is Jordan. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.